Let's talk about wrestling. Specifically, let's talk about Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Now, obviously, there's two matches, the tag match at night 1 and the title match on night 2. So I'm going to be telling you exactly how if I was the one in charge, would be doing it and how I think it should be done. And I mean, hopefully they do it better, but let's see what I can do. So first of all, quick disclaimer, I'm recording this at 1:30 on Tuesday, the 26th of March. So at the time of recording, WrestleMania is still 12 days away, I want to say. So if anything between now and the start of WrestleMania happens that completely blows this away and makes it completely impossible, then sorry, I can't do anything about that. But let's go. So we start on the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania, The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Out comes Rollins, who is joined on the stage by Rhodes. They reach the ring and Roman's music hits. He is flanked, of course, by Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. The Bloodline stand on the stage, all hold up the ones when The Rock's music hits and he makes his entrance. He joins them on the stage, and as they all begin to walk down the ramp, The Rock stops. And everyone looks back to him to be like, what are you doing? And he pauses. He goes over to Solo and he whispers something in his ear. We don't hear what he says, but he whispers something. Solo then turns, he grabs Jimmy, he grabs Heyman, and he takes them to the back. The Rock walks down the ramp with Roman looking at him confused as to what's just happened, but he follows The Rock down and they make their way to the ring. Now this immediately plants a little seed of doubt into the relationship between The Rock and Roman Reigns, sort of playing on the sort of things that Cody's been saying in the build-up of who's really in charge, the final boss or the tribal chief. And a lot of speculation online has been either one of these teams, one of them's going to fall apart and someone is going to turn on someone. So, you know, straight away, let's just plant a little seed of maybe it will be between The Rock and Roman. So the match is about to start and Roman, wanting to still show that, you know, he's the tribal chief, he is the Universal Champion, he wants to be the one in charge. So he tells The Rock, I'll start the match, you get out the ring, let me start. And The Rock says, have at it, go ahead. So he goes to the apron and Roman starts the match with Seth Rollins. Now obviously, huge amounts of history between Rollins and Roman, obviously going all the way back to the Shield in 2012. So we've got over 12 years of history at this point. So plenty of things to start, and these two can start the match with a good back and forth until eventually Rock and Roman start to take over and ultimately start putting the boots to Rollins. And obviously all of this is starting to build up to the eventual hot tag to Cody later in the match. But ultimately in this tag match, at least, I want to try and keep Roman and Cody sort of apart. I know they're in the same tag match, so you can't really keep them apart, but tomorrow night they're going to have a title singles match in the main event. They're going to have plenty of time to work together one-on-one. So for now, I really want to focus more on the sort of relationships between Seth and Roman and Rock, and the relationship between Cody and The Rock specifically. So the match goes on and it's just an all-out war between these two teams until eventually, say 15 minutes in, Cody and Roman finally get one-on-one in the ring. The Rock and Seth are both down on the outside. It's Cody and Roman one-on-one. Now, again, I don't want these two to do too much together because obviously, as I said, we've got the match coming on night 2. So they can keep it to a small exchange, you know, big moves only. And then tomorrow we can get into the more sort of technical stuff. So The Rock and Rollins both down on the outside. Roman flies into Rhodes trying to hit the Superman punch. Cody sees it coming. He catches him, plants him with the crossroads, but Cody's way too hurt at this point. He can't make the cover. He collapses down to the mat, looking to make the tag to Seth. At this point, Seth and The Rock on the other side have both sort of clawing their way up the steps, trying to get themselves onto the apron to make the tag to each of their partners. Rollins makes his way up. He's in the corner waiting for the tag. Cody, crawling his way along the mat, reaches out, dives to make the tag when Seth is yanked off of the apron. smashes his head onto the apron, and he's driven into the steps by someone wearing a black hoodie, a black tracksuit. Of course, as I'm sure most of you would have been able to assume, it's Solo Sikoa. Cody realises what's happened. He stands up, looks down, sees Rollins laid out, completely done, Solo standing on the outside. He turns around into a spear from Roman. Roman then makes the tag to The Rock. The Rock comes in. You'll have to bear with me here because I've got a vision of it. The Rock holding Cody for the rock bottom. Roman rebounds off the ropes behind him, and it's a sort of rock bottom into a spear. If that works, I think that works. Maybe it doesn't. I think it does. And then The Rock pins Cody Rhodes 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring to win the match for the Bloodline, setting up the Bloodline Rules match in the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania. So The Rock and Solo stand together in the middle of the ring, arms raised. Roman just behind them also has the arm raised, but he just gives a little look of doubt towards The Rock. Ultimately, Roman was left out of the plan. He didn't know that Solo, Jimmy and Paul were being sent to the back before the match. He didn't know Solo was coming back out. So The Rock's basically gone above him, made plans by himself, and this doesn't sit too well for the tribal chief. And in the way it happens, it gives a bit more of a storyline to what will eventually down the line come to be a Rock and Roman fallout with, you know, The Rock going above Roman's head and sort of starting to take control of the group. And before someone says, I'm burying Cody by having him take the pin, it can't be Seth, because in my world, he's losing the title to Drew in Night 2. So to have him lose the tag match and take the pin in the tag match and then get pinned by Drew on Night 2, it makes him look weak, in my opinion, and he deserves more than that. So Cody can take the pin because you'll see, maybe that's a bit of a spoiler, but you'll see, whereas Seth really can't afford to take 2 pins in 2 nights. And hopefully with Rhodes being pinned, it will, that sort of desire people have for him to win the title, hopefully this will just be the crescendo of that, and it will sort of drive home the fact that people think what they want is being taken away from them in true WWE style. So hopefully that desire will be even more, the reactions on Night 2 will be even more, and it will give Cody sort of the ultimate underdog story for Night 2. It's him against the entire Bloodline. Now, Night 2, Bloodline rules for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Strap yourself in, because I'm about to overbook the life out of this. Cody makes his way to the ring, hopefully to the loudest reaction of his life. That woe in his entrance should shatter the sound barrier, as everyone is urging Cody to finally finish his story and end Roman's reign of terror. Roman then makes a grand entrance with millions of pianos or whatever, even bigger than what he had at 39. And importantly, he's joined on the ramp by only Paul Heyman. No Solo, no Jimmy, no The Rock, only Paul Heyman for now. So the match starts and it is pure violence. Steel chairs, kendo sticks, tables, the lot. I'm not going to book every single move in the match in minute detail, but just, you know, a sort of wide scope of things that can happen. Spear through a barricade, crossroads through an announce table. You get the idea, that sort of violent stuff. So this all goes on for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, when inevitably Solo and Jimmy make their way through the crowd and begin a 3-on-1 beatdown of Cody Rhodes. It is an absolute mugging. Rhodes is getting the life kicked out of him when Seth Rollins' music hits. Seth makes his way to the ring, bruised and battered from his match with McIntyre early in the match. Obviously, he lost, as I said, so he's completely bruised, taped ribs, the lot, do what you want. Make it very clear Seth is not in a good way, but he's here to try and help Cody to finally end the bloodline. He gets down to the ring, but ultimately he's too hurt. Solo, Roman and Jimmy, they overpower Seth. They beat him down as well. So at this point, it's a 3-on-2 beatdown. Cody and Seth both just on the mat, covering up, trying to protect themselves. It looks like being the same old story, the Bloodline having too many numbers, taking control and winning, when Sami Zayn's music hits. Zayn, he was there pretty much the entire way through the Bloodline story. He was an amazing part of the story in 2022 and the start of 2023. So he's seen the lot of the Bloodline and he's now here to finally help put an end to it. But he's not alone. Out comes Kevin Owens and Jey Uso. The three of them march down the ring. The Avengers are assembling. They are here to end Thanos, Roman Reigns. They're here to take out this big ultimate villain. So important to note, similar to Rollins, these three, Zayn, Owens and Uso, are not 100% either. All three of them have been through very difficult matches. Jey should have beaten Jimmy on night one. If it's on night one, it might be on night two. I don't think that's actually been announced yet. Zayn should have had an amazing match with Gunther. He should have lost that match, but should have had an amazing match. And Kevin Owens in the triple threat for the United States Championship would have been a very difficult, grueling match. So all three of them are weakened. They're not 100%. The three of them make their way down to the ring. They get into the ring. They start laying the boots into Roman, Solo and Jimmy. Obviously, it's no disqualification, so all of this is okay. Roman can get hit. Cody can get hit. It's all fine. They start laying the boots to the Bloodline. Eventually, they start taking control. They start laying out the Bloodline when...
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
The Rock makes his entrance, he runs his way down to the ring, and we are now into the end game. But on his way down to the ring, The Rock stops. He turns and he sees Cody Rhodes' mother. Now, Cody's mum has been used throughout the storyline. The Rock has referenced her multiple times, so why not get her involved a little bit? Obviously, we're not going to get her physically involved, but why not get her involved? Especially as the whole sort of Cody wanting to bestow the title into the hands of, we can't do it into the hands of Dusty, so he wants to be able to give it to his mother. So, you know, family is a huge part of this story for Cody, so let's get family involved. So The Rock confronts Cody's mother, they exchange words, and then The Rock spits in her face. Cody is laid out on the mat, but with his head just up. He sees this, and obviously, as I'm sure anyone would be if their mum had just had been spit in their face, he is absolutely livid. So The Rock is now into the ring, and it's just an all-out brawl between all the men involved. So just to have a little recap for who's involved at the moment: Roman, Rock, Solo and Jimmy, Cody, Rollins, Zayn, Jimmy Uso and Kevin Owens. So everyone starts taking everyone out until all that is left standing in the ring, the only people left able to move, is The Rock, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. It's a 2-on-1 in this. Everyone else has been taken out. It's basically 2-on-1 now. Cody is dead to rights. He's in need of a hero. Cody stands across the ring from The Rock and Roman. He holds up the one, mocking them. He tells them to bring it, and they do. They start beating him down. So they start beating him down. They take full control. Cody at this point is bruised. He's battered. He's absolutely spent. Rock and Roman hit that same weird rock bottom spear combination that hopefully I'm not the only one who can see that happening. Hopefully that makes sense in other people's mind. They hit that same combination. Roman goes for the cover. It looks like the reign of terror will continue when John Cena's music hits. Now, for this spot in the match, it could have been Randy Orton. I think maybe it should be Randy Orton, but, you know, story-wise, it makes more sense for Randy Orton. But there is still some story elements for Cena to be involved. And ultimately, I think for that huge WrestleMania reaction, I think Cena will just give, no disrespect to Randy, one of my favourites of all time, but the surprise of Cena will just give a huge reaction that should shatter the arena. So Cena sprints down to the ring, gets into the ring face to face with The Rock, calling back to their two main events from WrestleMania 28 and 29, which was 12 years ago, and now I feel old. The Rock and Cena start to brawl. Roman is in shock. The last person he expected to see was John Cena. Cena starts hitting the 5 moves of doom on The Rock. Shoulder tackle, shoulder tackle. He goes to lift him up, to plant him down for the 5-knuckle shuffle, when Roman jumps in, hits a Superman punch to Cena. The Rock then picks him up for the rock bottom. Roman goes to hit that same spear combination to Cena, when back in comes Cody Rhodes, grabs Roman, throws him out of the ring. Rock still has Cena in position for the rock bottom, waiting for Roman to come and hit that spear combination. Cody now looking at the back of the Rock, the man who minutes before had spit in his own mother's face. He pauses, he looks around the crowd, and he just kicks the Rock square in the nuts. The Rock drops to a knee. Cena picks him back up, plants him with the AA. Cody scoops him up, crossroads, and they discard him out of the ring. Now Roman is rolled back into the ring. He's dazed and confused, but he's rolled back into the ring by Rollins, Zayn, Uso, and Owens, who at this point have all started to collect themselves. They're back on their feet. They throw Roman back into the ring, and very quickly Roman realizes the situation he finds himself in. So Roman tries to fight, he's still trying to protect his title. He swings for Cena. Cena ducks. Cody stood behind him. He catches him, turns it around into the crossroads 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Cody covers him. He pins Roman Reigns to win the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, ending what at this point would have been over 1,300 days as champion. And finally, at long last, Cody Rhodes has finished the story. Cody is now joined in the ring by Cena, Rollins, Zayn, Uso, and Owens. They lift Cody up on their shoulders, parade him around the ring as he holds up the title. As for the bloodline, Jimmy and Solo are laid out on the ramp. Roman is there. The Rock is there. Heyman is in floods of tears, looking down at his tribal chief. Roman finally defeated. So going forward with the bloodline, this gives so much scope for more storyline to be told. There's still so much meat on the bones of the bloodline story that can be told over the coming months. So if anyone actually watches this and likes it, maybe that can be a video for another day. And as for the good guys, maybe, the people involved, it could lead to a jealousy angle. Maybe Seth lost his title, but he helped Cody retain. So maybe, there's a bit of jealousy there between Seth not having his title. There's some stories that can be told. And for the bloodline, I think this can sort of provide some, with the people involved. The Rock won the match technically. I know Roman was also in the match, but The Rock got the visual pin. He won the match on night 1. Solo, in my world, has won the Battle Royal. I don't even know if they're doing the Battle Royal this year, but Solo's won the Battle Royal. Jimmy lost to Jay and Roman lost to Cody. So Roman maybe takes some time off. When he comes back, maybe a face turn. I think if he takes some time off, people will be delighted when Roman's back, because as much as maybe people have got a bit tired of his title reign, it's Roman Reigns. He's proven over this reign that he is one of the greatest of the modern era. So I'm sure people will be delighted to see him back. Maybe we can set up the Rock and Roman match that I'm sure they'll have with face Roman and heel Rock. That sounds good to me. Maybe not to you, let me know. Anyway, so the closing shot of WrestleMania 40 is Cody Rhodes now being joined in the ring by his mother. He drops to his knee, he holds the title, he places it into his mother's arms as they embrace, and the show goes off the air. So Cody finally got to bestow the title into the hands of his mother, and that is how I personally would be booking the WrestleMania 40 main event. Cody Rhodes winning the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Was it awful? I don't know. Let me know if anyone's made it this far in the video. Thanks. Let me know if it was awful. Let me know what you would have done differently. And yeah, thank you.